it's a blessing to be his son in terms of the kind of love and the kind of respect that I get from everybody. But it's also really hard to be his son because a lot of the people expect me to do whatever he did in his career, which is physically impossible. I can never be my dad. I can never be as good of a singer as him. I can never be as good of a performer as him. I can always try to become like him, which is, I think, the only thing I can ever do. But at the same time, I'm the biggest fan of my dad, and I claim it. You know, doesn't matter what song he's done, doesn't matter what lyricist he's worked with, whatever producers he's worked with, all the music producers that he's, you know, worked with on albums, on singles, on multi-albums, on Punjabi movie songs and Bollywood movie songs. You know, Dad used to call me "Ye mera MP3 player," because he just literally used to tell me, "Oh, ye gaane da antara kya," and I used to sing it. And I literally remember each word of every song. And then that's how I portray myself as a fan, because I literally knew all of his discography. And I literally knew the secrets, because every time I used to drive into the shows or whatever, I'm just on the driving seat, he's on the next side. I used to just ask him stories. I have 2-hour, 3-hour-long recordings of him talking about all these journeys on my phone, which I never share with anybody, obviously. And I just put on my headphones sometimes after him passing and just listen to those. And you hear him talk about all these things and you're reminiscing all those memories. You realize how much of a big person he is. So my distance started to grow more and more as a son. But my distance was getting very less as a fan. So I was getting really close to him as a fan. I was getting really far away as a son. So I definitely considered myself more of a sevadar rather than a son.
You said something with that question. He's
MP3 player, yeah.
Is that right, bro? Couple lines. Any of your dad's favorite lines?
Every song, you know, it's just so hard to choose sometimes. But man, there's one song that I love, and I sing it all the time, and I'm pretty sure everybody heard it from me, like in every party or every mehfil. So yeah, 2 lines of those songs. हो जा अखों ले हो जानी नाल जश्न मना ले गैरा दे होनी मैं किवें सजावां हो दिल अड़िए जो लतड़ गई विच पैरां दे हाय मेरी जिंद गमा दियां जेलां विच हाय मेरी जिंद गमा दियां जेलां विच बन कैदन किरगी की करिए हाय जे उंज गिरदी तां चुक लैंदे नजरां तो गिर गई की करिए नजरां तो गिर गई की करिए नजरां तो गिर गई.
Yo, bro.
Love this one.
No, awesome. That's awesome. Now, bro, I want to talk about struggles.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everyone goes through struggles in their careers. Everyone always sees the kind of good sides. Like now, even yourself, like, you know, an upcoming producer, DJ. I've seen doors closed in your face by people in the industry.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
there's established artists, even Am, that, you know, she's trying to rise through the ranks. Established artists have actually kind of closed the door on her, being like, yo, who are you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if you can't give someone a break now, don't come to them later on when they've kind of made it, etc. But like with your dad, like, you know, there's loads of stories where he talks about openly.
Exactly.
The struggles he faced, etc. But obviously, did he ever let those struggles get known to you guys when you were kids? Or did you guys only ever see kind of the good times him as an artist? Because your mum and dad literally were a powerhouse couple.
Oh yeah, they were.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And then there's loads of interviews where they lay things out as it is together, etc. But for you guys as kids, you know, did you ever see the struggles that they went through?
To be honest with you, he always kept us up to date with it, to be honest with you, because he always told us the stories. He always told us. Because, I mean, for example, if he ever had a scenario, like the lights would run out in India and he's like, Dad, it's really hot in here. He's like, you know, my son, there were times when I used to go to Delhi, didn't have enough money to give my audition in HMV. I used to go in the newspaper car and the newspaper bus. There was literally only just like, it was a dark, very, very uncomfortable space because then the ceiling would be, just 2 feet. And I literally used to like lie down on the newspapers and used to like wait for like 7 or 8 hours just to get there. And I can only imagine how he must have been feeling, so claustrophobic and how uncomfortable it is. But he did it for, for the sake of becoming what he is today.
Yeah.
So he always kept us up to date with it. But then there's a part of me that a lot of people actually are not aware of. When I moved to Canada, I started my audio engineering there, right, in Metalworks Institute of Sound and Music Production. So I used to take the bus every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, used to come back at like 9, 10 in the night, and then used to sleep at like 7 and then 11 again, or 12 o'clock and midnight, and then used to wake up at 4 again. So I've seen those times where मैं भी धक्के खाते हैं. I've not as much as that obviously, or not as much as every other artist who has gained popularity over the years, but then hard times in Canada.
Yeah.
And my dad would never want me to see those times, because I remember when it was the very beginning of my session, it was the first semester. So dad just used to call me and he's like, Alaap Sikander, tu theek hai? Hanji dad, I'm good. Ki chal raha nama? What are they teaching you? I used to just share, long conversations with him, because the bus ride used to be like 2 hours. And there was one time it was snowing and then I slipped off. And my phone went away. It was like, it got opened up and then fell apart into different pieces. The SIM card and the battery from that era, So we had different batteries, separate batteries for phones that time.
The bricks.
Yeah, the bricks.
Yeah.
It literally fell out of my phone, and then I was trying to put it together, trying to charge it again. It took me a half hour to do that, and then I got back in the bus and then heated up, and the moment I turned the phone on, first thing happens is my dad calls. And I, picked up the call. He's like, "Ki hoya?" Like, Dad, nothing happened. He's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I heard you scream. I was like, no, Dad, everything's okay. Like, he's like, "Did a car hit you or something?" I was like, "No, it's fine. I just slipped in the snow. I fell." So he was like, "Really, you did?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, Dad. It's fine. It happens all the time." Like, "Really? It really happens to you all the time?" I was like, "Yeah, it's normal. Everybody falls in the snow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just more clumsy than other people." So he's like, "Did you get hurt?" Because he knew, like, but if this hurt lag diya, and he's like, "Are you hurt?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm fine, Dad. Just don't worry about it. I'm fine. It happens every time." Cut my call, called my mom, because she was in Canada at that time.
Yeah.
Called my mom. He's like, "Tu जालम औरत, tu डैन है, तू मेरे बच्चे नु कित्थे ले आई, बेचारा धक्के खा रहा है ये वो." And Mom was like, "What happened to you all of a sudden? It's just like, it's 4 in the morning. What happened to you?" He's like, "No, look at him. Like, Alaap was hurt. I was talking to him on the phone. Oh, गिर गया snow de vich." Mom was like, "फिर क्या हो गया?" And then Dad's like, नहीं, मैं अपने बच्चे नु struggle नहीं करन देना ऐदा. I did the struggle for them. Why should they go through all of this? And Mom's like, "You did it for them. Now he's doing it for himself as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing it for the next generation." He's like, Dad's like, no, I'm not gonna allow this. He called me back, because Mom was like, "Don't disturb him with this. He's really happy and he's really positively reinforced and really wants to do it. He's actually enjoying this journey of his." Because I didn't want to be the kid, with the silver spoon in my mouth and just, being driven by chauffeurs, and I didn't want that life.
Yeah.
So he called me back, and I was halfway through my journey, and then I was just about to reach the school, and then, "Puttu tu wapas aaja. I'm gonna give you a car. I'm gonna give you a flat in Bombay. You have your own house. You have your own car. I'm gonna get A.R. Rahman to teach you music production. I'm gonna get all these big people." He started dropping names all of a sudden. He's like, "I'm gonna get everybody, like, from the industry to teach you music, but just don't go through this." I was like, "Dad, this is that one chance I have to be something just more than Sardool SIkander's son." And he started crying on the phone. I was like, he was so proud of me. He's like, "Ja Simran, ja ji le apni zindagi." So it was beautiful. It was amazing, So it was heavy, it was emotional, but then it was amazing. And look where I am today. I did my hard time. I paid my dues and had the laughs and had the cries. There were 60 people in my course for the audio engineering course. Only 3 people graduated.
Awesome.
I was literally one of the 3 people. So it was the hard times, and it was, being a producer, being a music person, you understand that if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But then the people who have it inside them, I literally wanted to make every penny worth. So I was doing whatever I could. So believe it or not, I've seen my struggles, but I'm sure Dad would never let me see times that he's seen it for himself.
It's not really kind of spoken about a lot, but with your dad, but you know, what other artists did he help? Because he was part of that group of like the Hansraj Hanses,
Yes,
the Shindes,
the trilogy, you know, Gurdas Maan, Sardool SIkander, Hansraj, you know.
Yeah,
it was
so,
one of the,
but in terms of other artists, were there any artists that your dad actually brought up that aren't talked about?
Well, while he was growing up, he used to listen to a lot of radio.
Yeah.
Because that was the only form of entertainment that back and then, right? So he heard a lot of Ghulam Ali Khan Sahab. You know, he's my Ustad ji. And in Punjabi industry, he definitely looked up to all of these legends like Kuldeep Manak Sahab, Surinder Chinda, and Muhammad Siddiq, Kartar Ramla, Lal Chand Yamla Jat ji. So, like, he used to tell us stories that the time that he spent with all these people, the different stories that he's had with all of these people. So yeah, there was a lot of conversations when he used to bring up these artists. Ki tenu pata unhone aaya kita si, tenu pata main ode edda karda si, main aa karda. There's times when he used to tell me that ek vari Kuldeep Manak Sahab came to our pind, Khedi Naut Singh. So Dad was like, what, probably 7 or 8, and then he just overheard. Hun tode samne aa rahe ne Kuldeep Manak from a very distant place, and then udron he just heard that, threw his cycle away, just ran bare feet toward the concert, and he just got on the tree, just wanted to see Manak once. It's like, I just wanted to take a glimpse of it. Just wanted to see what he looked like, how he performs. I mean, cut to the chase, all these years later, little did he know, he was gonna be the person who played Vajja on his concerts on the Canada America tour with Manak Sahab.
Oh, wow.
So Dad did harmonium and did backing vocals with him. And then there were times when Dad became what he became, Manak Sahab used to come to our house and used to, remind him that look where you came from and look at you now, you should appreciate that.